Ron and Randall froze, seeing that Aiden was in grave danger. Hans turned to them both. "Drop your weapons. Now!" Without skipping a beat, both Randall and Ron dropped their guns and raised their hands in the air. Hans loomed over Aiden, a vicious smile spreading across his face. "You're a fool for coming here, you know that? For thinking that you could just waltz in here and dismantle my entire operation. Did you really think I would just let some nobody come in here and destroy everything?" Aiden climbed up onto his knees, staring up at Hans. "I'm not nobody." Hans laughed again. "Oh, really? Then who are you? The truth this time." "Boss!" Aiden heard Randall cry out. Out of the corner of his eye, he saw that two thugs had regained consciousness and were pointing guns at Randall and Ron's heads. Aiden felt his heart pounding in his ears. "If I don't tell the truth, they'll kill us all. But if I tell the truth, I'll betray my greatest secret, my identity." He glanced up at Hans, who cocked the gun. "Well, I'm waiting. Who are you?" Aiden exhaled sharply. "I am the tiger." Hans froze. Suddenly, he aimed the gun away from Aiden. "The tiger?" He spat on the ground. "Impossible. How dare you use that name to defend yourself? You can't be more than 25 years old. How can you be the tiger?" "I'm telling the truth." Aiden stared right into Hans' eyes. Hans blinked. "So, your card. That was..." Aiden nodded. "The Tiger Group card, yes. And you better give it back, or there will be serious consequences." Hans scowled. "If you're really the tiger, prove it." Aiden inhaled. Without wasting a beat, he leaped up from his knees and landed a quick punch in Hans' stomach. As the old man doubled over, Aiden disarmed him, knocking the gun out of his hand and catching it in the air. Hans sank to his knees in pain as Aiden pointed the gun straight at his head, execution style. "Do you believe me now?" Hans' thugs gasped. Aiden stared at them from across the warehouse floor. "Lower your weapons, now." They obliged. Ron and Randall took their guns. Then, Aiden stared back down at Hans again. "Give me my card back, now. Unless you want to paint these walls with the inside of your skull." "This ends now!" Just then, one of Hans' mercs returned to consciousness and charged Aiden. But before he got there, Ron grabbed a weapon and shot the thug dead. Hans' eyes went wide as he watched his guard bleeding out on the warehouse floor. Aiden pressed the barrel of the gun into Hans' head. "Unless you want to end up like him, you'd better cooperate." Without saying anything, Hans handed Aiden the Tiger Group card from his pocket. "Good," Aiden smirked. "Now, I hear you might have had a little deal in the works with a friend of mine, Derek Kline. Is that true?" Hans shook his head. "I have no idea what you're talking about." "Don't lie!" Aiden pressed the gun even harder into Hans' head. "This is your last chance. Tell me what you know about Derek Kline, and what your deal with him is. Or else." Aiden cocked the gun, preparing to fire. "This is your last chance." Aiden pressed the gun hard into Hans' forehead. "Tell me what you know about Derek Kline, and what your deal with him is. Or else." Hans trembled as he looked around his warehouse. His 15 mercenaries were now lying unconscious on the floor. One of them was dead, face down in a pool of his own blood. Finally, he relented. "Okay, fine. Yes. Derek came to meet with me." Aiden smirked. "Go on." "He came here to try to sell his company. But he didn't tell me that you have a stake in it. Otherwise, I never would have done business with him. I would never double-cross the tiger.
Hans looked up at Aiden, pleading. Aiden kept the gun pointed at Hans' head.
So, what was the plan? Well, I couldn't buy the company from Derek. But I found someone who could.
Aiden paced around Hans.
Ah, so you were going to sell to a third party?
Hans nodded.
Yeah, we were supposed to meet with him tomorrow.
Aiden thought carefully for a moment.
If the meeting gets canceled, Derek might suspect that we're onto him. Maybe we let this play out a little longer. Go to the meeting tomorrow,
Aiden ordered, turning his attention back to Hans. Hans blinked.
What? Why? Go to the meeting with Derek. Act normal. Then, when his guard is down, I need you to take any documentation Derek has on Daring Industries and bring it to me.
Aiden grinned mischievously.
Then, you're going to call me, and we're going to force Derek's hand and have him sell his own company to me.
Hans nodded, cowering. Aiden stooped over him.
And if you even think about breathing a word of this to anyone like Dominic Grayson, I assure you, you'll have to sleep with one eye open for the rest of your natural life, which won't be very long. I'll send every force I have in the Tiger Group after you. Do you understand?
Hans nodded again.
Yes, Tiger. Yes, I understand.
Aiden chuckled.
Perhaps I'll even meet you there for your little buyer meeting myself. Tell Derek there's been a change of plans.
There was a moment of silence. Aiden pressed the gun further into Hans' head.
What are you waiting for? Make the call. Right away, sir.
Hans reached inside his pocket, pulling out a cell phone. He called Derek as Aiden continued to point the gun at his head. Aiden couldn't hear Derek's end of the conversation, but he watched Hans carefully as he spoke.
Derek? Hello? Yeah, this is Hans. I wanted to let you know that there's been a slight change in our plans. We'll still meet tomorrow night, but the buyer may have to meet at another time.
As Hans spoke, Aiden glanced at one of Hans' unconscious men. He had an idea. Secretly, Aiden scribbled something on a piece of paper and stuck it to the man's hand. Meanwhile, Hans finished his phone call with Derek.
I'll explain when we get there. Okay. Goodbye, Derek.
He hung up.
It's done, Tiger.
Aiden nodded.
Very good. Proceed with the plan. No missteps, or else.
Wait, that's not the end. You've just had a free taste. Now get the full story on the Pocket FM app, link in description. Check out our next video and playlist, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.